What's up, witches? I'm going to try to keep this video brief. A few weeks ago I tried to make this same exact video and I just sounded like a moron, which is not hard for me to do, but I just want to talk about Wicca. And I used to be a Wiccan when I was a teenager. I've been doing magic since I was a tiny toddler. My earliest memories are about having thoughts of God or magic. And I can still remember the first spell I ever did, but I'm not going to talk about that because I'm not too proud of it. But I mean, I was a little kid when I did my first spell. And, but it wasn't until I was about 12 or 13 that I was introduced to Wicca. I had never heard of Wicca, but Wicca was the first practice that I did that was sort of that incorporated actual witchcraft. I don't mean like actual witchcraft, like there's real witchcraft and fake witchcraft. I mean like a formalized type of structure. Because up until that point, I just kind of did spells and didn't think much about anything. But Wicca was sort of this formal thing that I started doing. And the first book I ever read about Wicca was Living Wicca. Or it might have been, it was one of Scott Cunningham's books. I think it was Living Wicca. There were like two books. I think there was Wicca and then there was Living Wicca. I forget which one I read first. I read both of them. But I got really into Wicca. And I did get away from Wicca, but it wasn't even so much that I outgrew it. I just sort of drifted away from it. And I was still very witchy. I was still doing spells and having a connection with God, but it wasn't in like the structure of Wicca. And so it's not so much that I didn't like it anymore or I felt like it wasn't for me. I just kind of drifted away from it. Like, honest to God, I kind of flaked out. But would I ever go back to Wicca? Probably not. At this point in my life, I'm not super into like religion. Because to me, I sort of think of magic as like a science. Like, I'm trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work. Now, I've had very real manifestations doing my witchcraft, and it was totally absent of Wicca or the god and the goddess or Christianity or Jesus or whatever the fuck. But I've had real results from just doing my thing the way I've been doing it. And so in my eyes, it's like I don't really have to like worship the god and the goddess and do all this stuff. Now, do I worship the moon? Yes. I worship the sun, I worship the moon, I worship nature, but I don't sit there and light a candle for the goddess and light a candle for the god with the cauldron and the athame and all that stuff. That's just not how I roll. But I am someone who sort of, when I read about gods and goddesses from different pantheons, I do feel a connection with it. Like, I don't know how it is, because I used to think sort of like, how can all these gods and goddesses coexist? How can all this stuff be true? Some things aren't true and some things are true. But for some reason, I can relate to a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of wisdom out there in different religions. And that's another thing. I like reading about different religions, but I don't follow any particular religion. Because I think that there's a lot of wisdom out there in all these different paths. And I think, because for me, I don't think I would ever follow strictly one religion, because I don't want to limit myself and get sort of tunnel vision about my place in the universe. Because to me, the universe is infinite. It just goes on, and there's all this magic out there and possibilities and things I've never even seen before and things I can't even imagine and colors that I've never seen and, foods I've never tasted and all this stuff. And I just don't think a formalized religion is really what will ignite that ignite the endless possibilities for me. But I appreciate all religions, and I think that there's something to be learned from everyone. Anyway, that's why I left Wicca. I didn't really leave Wicca, but I just kind of drifted away from it. It wasn't as if one day I just said, I'm done with this and this isn't for me. I just literally kind of just stopped practicing it. I stopped celebrating the Sabbats and the Esbats. And, but now, I mean, I've always sort of acknowledged when they were there. Like, I'd be like, oh, today's Imbolc, or, you know, today's Samhain. I don't just think of it as Halloween. I also kind of think of it as Samhain. But I don't do rituals on Samhain that are like Wiccan based. I still do magic, but I mean I do magic like every single day, like a lot. I'm always doing magic, but anyway, that's my spiel, and this is like a topic that I cannot help but like ramble about because I could just go on and on about like my stance on like formalized religion. Anyway, love you guys, and I have several more videos that I'm going to be making tonight, and I hope you guys all are having a very magical night. Take some time, look at the stars, think about what's out there in deep space, all the planets and the other spirits, the aliens, I don't know, whatever's out there. I know there's definitely something going on. There's more to life than just what we see here on Earth, right? There's other energies that act differently and all kinds of stuff, all right? All right, I'm going to shut up. Check the description box for all my links. There's a link to my 2 Etsy shops and my blog, which my blog is really cool. Instagram, Twitter, all that good jazz, all right? Bye.